What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Nick 4K video. Today we're checking out another video from Forgotten Tomatoes. Awesome channel, guys. Definitely go check him out. I'll leave a link to his channel in the description below. But in today's video, he's going to be comparing Galaxy Quest 4K versus Blu-ray. So there has been some controversy online about this. I actually have this 4K. I haven't watched it yet, but I did hear some things about it. We're going to watch this video. We're going to hear his thoughts, and then let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree with him by the end. And maybe I'll do a follow-up when I actually watch the movie myself. But let's check it out. Let's see if it is a truly good 4K release or if it's a rough one. But of course, if you enjoy this video and want to see more like this, make sure to like, subscribe, turn notifications for more. With that said, let's begin.
In this video, we're going to find out if the new Galaxy Quest 4K from Paramount is worth a damn or if I just poured my money down the drain. If you find this video helpful, leave a comment. Alright, let's start with the good news first. There's much better color reproduction here compared to the old flat-looking Blu-ray. Skin tones are fuller and overall the picture's a little more saturated. And you can see here in the analysis that some content, like sections that have a lot of red and green, make pretty good use of wide color gamut. But overall the picture falls mostly within Rec. 709, so most displays should handle it well. Also good news, the soundtrack has been upgraded to Dolby Atmos and it sounds really good. And there is a lot of dialogue in the movie, but there's still quite a few scenes with noticeable height effects and strong bass. And the overall soundstage feels more open and dynamic.
See, before we continue, I was actually a little scared about this movie because movies that came out around this time started implementing a lot of CGI aspects. And now, of course, CGI is everywhere, but back then, it could be pretty rough. So I was a little scared when I saw this thing was coming to 4K. I didn't know how the CGI was going to hold up. But so far, he's saying some good stuff. So I'm actually pretty surprised. So far, I'm happy. Let's hope it stays that way.
And sadly, that concludes everything good about this release. Now for the bad news.
I may have spoke too soon.
This picture's as soft as tissue paper. I mean, I don't know what's going on here, and it doesn't even really look like they've scrubbed it to try to create that digital look. It's just soft. Let's compare it to the Blu-ray. So you can pretty much forget about razor sharp 4K detail with this one.
Oh, wow.
And whether or not this was done deliberately, I'm sure will be debated, but I can say with all honesty that if you go into this expecting a more detailed picture than a standard 1080p Blu-ray, you're going to be disappointed. And yeah, the old Blu-ray probably did have some light sharpening to it, but at least it does give the illusion of detail. Alright, one more. Unfortunately, the HDR is about as bland as it gets and does very little to boost the contrast. And this is the kind of movie you would expect to leap off the screen, but instead it's mostly bleak. And you can see here in the HDR analysis that even the daylight scenes are not very bright. Even the sky is barely above 100 nits. So if you're watching this in an average lit room, it's probably going to look pretty bland. And even when you look at this scene where they made such a big deal about changing the aspect ratio, you know, you might expect a little bit more punch to the picture, but instead it's barely above SDR.
See, this is what I was talking about. I'll back it up a little bit here. As far as like the CGI of the time is rough, right? Like that doesn't look very good for a modern time. But as far as like the colors look, he showed us a comparison shot earlier in this video of this exact scene. It does look better than before. So far from what I've seen from the screenshots is like the Blu-ray is more sharper and it has more of a tint to it. I don't know if maybe they tried to go back with this 4K release and maybe fix a lot of that tint color, but it does kind of seem like in doing so, they added a blurring effect to this movie. And like he said, maybe it was done on purpose, but my theory is that they added the blur to kind of make the CGI not look so messy, because I don't remember this movie having really bad film grain, so I would assume it would be like they used a denoise filter, right, to fight back, use the DNR to take that away, and in doing so they ended up taking away a lot of detail from other places. But I think they actually added a filter to this movie just to add a little bit of blurring so that the CGI wasn't as noticeable, or the aged CGI isn't as noticeable. Maybe he'll explain it as we get further in this video, but yeah, it's odd, very odd.
And then you have this ridiculous aspect ratio. They've gone back to the gimmick that was used in theaters, and I'm sure that looked okay on a large screen, but it just looks stupid here. And I was looking at some of the comments on the Blu-ray.com forum, and it just never ceases to amaze me how so many of these clowns have infiltrated this community. You know, these people that lose their mind over AI, or they'll totally disregard a new 4K release because one little sound effect got changed. But then they're okay with stupid shit like this. I mean, it looks like you're watching a non-anamorphic DVD. It's just distracting, and it's completely unnecessary for the home release. And that's why they didn't do it on the previous releases.
Interesting. See, that's why I like Forgotten Tomatoes, man. He tells you exactly how it is. He doesn't beat around the bush. He tells you exactly how it is. I love that.
So did I waste my money on this one? Well, I think overall this was a huge letdown visually. And you know, I'm sure it's probably accurate to the original vision, but at the end of the day, do you want to spend $25 for a 4K that looks dull and lifeless because that's how it looked theatrically? Or would you rather have something a little more dynamic? The big deal here is the Atmos soundtrack, and realistically that's about the only reason I can think of for upgrading. And because I'm always looking for a good Atmos soundtrack, that softens the blow a little bit and keeps the buyer's remorse down. But overall, this is a disappointing release, especially after waiting this long for an upgrade. And now I await getting ripped apart in the comments. See you later.
Interesting. I have to check it out for myself. The thing is, I don't know. Like I said, I've only watched this movie maybe one time as a kid. I never seen it on Blu-ray, so I'm sure if I watch it on 4K, it's gonna look great. It's the same thing as like, for me, True Lies, Aliens, and The Abyss. I had never seen them on Blu or DVD. I've only ever watched them on like a standard def TV years ago, like when they would have been like airing on cable back before HD type of thing. So when I watched them on 4K, they all look really good. Then I watched videos like this, which then reveal the issues with these newer releases, and then I get more of a sense of, oh, I missed out a little bit, even though I didn't realize I missed out until I was told I missed out. So I don't know. I've been hearing some back and forth things about this release. Like I always say, I have an OLED, and everything looks good on an OLED. Even like DVDs look pretty good on an OLED. So I'm sure it's gonna look great still. But it is one of those things, like, for people who really do want the best of best, the idea of what 4Ks are supposed to do is give you the best of the best, right? So when you get a release that isn't the best of the best, it's disappointing, because effectively, for a lot of people, for right now anyways, the 4K format is the end game. You know, we don't have an 8K format yet, so this is the best version you're going to get. And I get it. If you don't like it, if it's not what you wanted, if it's not the best version, then you didn't get what you wanted, and of course it's disappointing. So I understand that completely. But yeah, thanks again for an awesome video, Forgotten Tomatoes. What about you guys? Did you buy this? Do you not buy this? Did this video sway you either way? Did you think this is a bad release, or you think it's a good one? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, subscribe, turn notifications for more. And of course, if you want to check out any more of my videos, I'll have a link right here on the screen. Go ahead and click that, check them out. But thanks again for watching. I'll catch you next one. Peace.